I'm not going to talk about hedge funds. I'm not going to talk about most of the things that you've been talking about for the last couple of days. Your program said that I'm going to talk about restoring the American dream. I guess I can't talk about restoring the American dream unless I thought the American dream needed to be restored. Obviously, you just heard Boone Pickens, a great American from Oklahoma, talking about American independence and energy independence. Obviously, my old William and Mary mate, Mr. Gates, American independence equals political compromise. I hear him talk about that all the time. And then you got a guy from New Jersey. You can tell I'm from New Jersey, right? See, I'm long on America. If I was buying stock, and I do buy stock, if I'm buying things, I'm going to buy America. And what I want to talk about is being long on America and the questions you have to ask to make sure that the American dream continues for my children, our grandchildren, and they're able to attend the assaults of the future, and that the generations in the future have the same opportunities that I had growing up in Trenton, New Jersey. I was on CNBC the day AIG was going under. And there was a decision as to whether the government should bail them out or not. And I was asked by Maria Bartiromo, Joe, what should happen? And I said, absolutely. She said, why do you think so? I said, because if that fails, a lot of the commercial paper that's bought by banks is AIG commercial paper. It's not about AIG. It's about everybody coming to the bank looking for their money in the afternoon, and Jimmy Stewart's not there. And I got emails from all over the country, and I said the people in Boise, Idaho should be as interested as what happens to AIG in New York that day, because it's the same street. We used to talk about Main Street and Wall Street. They're not different streets, they're the same street. And somebody needs to explain the system of what we do, because what we do is what everybody else does. Work hard to be able to preserve the American dream for generations to come. Do what needs to be done rather than what you want to do. If that does not emerge, then the dream cannot be restored. And leaders believe that anything is possible, but our children have to grow up with leadership that shows them that. That was the front page of the Chicago Sun-Times. This is the front page of our annual report. That's cool, isn't it? Anything's possible because I grew up being an American and I thought that was possible. Lastly, every leader has to show passion for what they do. I come from Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey is a town 25 years ago where everybody's moving out of it. Lots of gangs, bad neighborhood. My father's 80 years old. He says to me, and he has a heart attack, quadruple bypass. And I go to the hospital to see him, and he says, I said, I'm going to get you a house in Florida. I want you to rest. He says, no. He says, we have to rejuvenate Trenton. We got to do something to make people proud again. I said, Pop, what is that? He says, we need to bring a baseball team to Trenton. I said, what? He said, a baseball team to Trenton. I said, what are we going to get a baseball team? You got a bad heart. Stop it. He says, I said, you don't have a stadium, you don't have a team, you're crazy. He says, if I get a team, will you give me the money? Well, if I get a stadium, will you give me money? I said, yeah, because he's not going to get the money. They don't have housing. 80-year-old man, every day on television and radio, he gives out leaflets in the middle of town saying that the town needs some pride back. They need passion back. So he gets a referendum, 1,500 people in a vigil with candles to go to City Hall to get a referendum done. They get the referendum done, the stadium gets built. He calls me, he asks me for the money. I never thought he would get the referendum done. And I said to him, Pop, how about your heart? He says, and I said, you don't have a team. I get a team, you give me the money. 2 weeks later, I get a call from George Steinbrenner. He said, are you related to Sam Plumeri? I said, yes, I am. He's my father. He says, tell him to stop harassing me. I said, what's the matter? He says, he wants a team. It was at that moment I said to myself, If it makes them live another 5 years happily, let's do it. That's the stadium. It's called Waterfront Park. That's a statue of my father who passed away 12 years ago. This man saw a stadium where there was a junk heap by a river. 4 million people have gone through the turnstiles. That whole area is now marinas. The whole area is now apartments and light industry because of an 80-year-old man who had passion about a vision, and he had a dream. And it's that passion that's got to live in the kids that you see, that statue, with him today. That's what America has to be. What did Ronald Reagan see? Ronald Reagan saw a city on a hill. My father saw a stadium by a river. I see a dream that comes from the passion in my heart to belong in America.
You ever seen it? Now you know why I love Joe Plumeri, right?
Anyway, I'm done. Here you go. Thanks, everybody.
Give me a better hug than that. I mean, come on.